Hi there, Jen Roque here at stampcampwithjen.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and welcome to day 4 of my 12 days of Christmas. So today we have a really fun project. If you haven't seen it yet, please make sure to keep track of our 12 days of Christmas schedule. I have 4 weeks of fun. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is a project, and so there's 3 projects per week for 4 weeks, so that's where the 12 days of Christmas comes in. Every Thursday I have a giveaway. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I have a weekend shopping special, and then Sunday I also announce the winner for that Thursday giveaway, okay? So I really hope you're enjoying this series so far, and I hope you're looking forward to today's project. So I also want to remind you guys, starting on December 1st, last chance product starts, okay? So these items are up to 60% off, and they're only while supplies last. So they may last until 4 January, but there's no guarantee, especially depending on the discount and the popularity. They could sell out before then. So if there's anything that you see in any of my videos and you see that there's something that's going on sale, please make sure to write it down on your wish list so that December 1st you can order those items so you don't miss out, okay? And on my blog posts, I am putting the items that will be last chance, and if they're on sale, you'll see those prices as well. So today we are making this cute little 3D project. So these are called Santa pants. These are a great craft fair item if you have a Christmas craft fair. And these are really super easy to make. I'm going to show you how to make them. So inside the pants, I have these little Lindor Truffles. I have 6. I have 3 in each pair of pants. So I just got a big pack of these Lindor peppermint assortment. They have, what are the flavors here? I think one's like a peppermint cookie and one's like a white chocolate peppermint. Oh yeah, right there, you can see them. So that's what I got. You feel free to put whatever you want in there, but I love peppermint, and the colors really matched really well for this project. So that's what I decided to use, okay? So first I want to share a little tip on how to cut your paper. We're using Real Red cardstock here, and you can get 1 pair of pants out of 1 sheet of cardstock. I wish you could get more, but it's quite a large project. So, so what you want to do first to maximize your cutting and to make sure you have as little waste as possible is on the 8.5 inch side at the top, you want to move that over to the 7 inch mark and cut. Okay, and now with this little strip here, you actually need to cut these little pieces for the trousers. So you can use this strip to do it. I already did mine, so I'm not going to cut that again, but I just wanted to show you because I think it's like a 9 inch long strip or something. So they're 1/2 inch by, I believe, 9 inches. So you could just cut that and cut it down and you wouldn't have as much waste. So I just wanted to share that tip with you so that you cut that and get as much out of your paper as possible. So now I'm going to cut this on the long side here. I'm actually going to move it down to the 9 inch mark and cut. We don't need this piece. And then we're actually going to cut this in half at 4.5 inches. And each one of these pieces will be used for one of the legs. So one piece will be this leg and one piece will be the other leg, okay? So now we're going to grab our trimmer, or our Simply Scored scoring tool. There we go. We're going to take this one and we're going to lay our paper long side up here at the top, and we're going to score at 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. Then we're going to rotate it to the right 90 degrees and score at 1.5, okay? I'm going to do the same thing on the other pair of pants here. So again, 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, rotate it clockwise 90 degrees, and then score at 1.5, okay? So that's all for those pants scoring. So now we're just going to fold on our score lines and burnish with our bone folder. on both pieces. This is not a new project. I saw something, I think I saw a similar one last year when I was looking up Christmas projects. Somebody had done it with the red velvet paper that Stampin' Up! Had last year, and that was so cute. And I intended to make some, and I just never did. But I decided this year, with all my craft shows coming up, I was definitely going to try it for my craft shows. So since these are kind of long sections that we're cutting, I'm using bigger scissors, but we're going to cut up on these bottom score lines, and then we're going to cut an angle and cut this little tab off the side right here, okay? So we're just going to do that real quick. Just cutting up to that cross score line there, up to where it meets the horizontal line. Right there, okay. And then we're gonna angle at the corner here and just snip away that little piece. So that's how it'll look once you have everything all cut. Okay, so we'll do the same thing on this one. I think these are gonna be a big hit at my craft show. And if you've already finished your craft shows for the year, just save this for next year. This is something that you can always easily adapt to whatever current products are out, or whatever you have on hand. It's easy to adapt it to. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take these little flaps and fold them inward, and I have 2 pieces of the Glimmer white, the 6x6 paper. It comes in white and red, and I just took one of the sheets that's 6 inches and just cut 1/2-inch strips of it, okay? So what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna take some liquid glue, and I'm gonna put liquid glue all down the back side of this white Glimmer paper. And carefully line it up right along that scored edge. And I folded it backwards just so I can see where it ends there, and just line it up. And so you want to line up your edge with this score line. You probably will have a little bit of excess that comes off of here, but do not trim it off. I know you're going to be tempted to trim it off. I was, but you'll see once the box actually comes together, that teeny little bit of excess will really meet and help close the gap in our trouser pants. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. So do not trim that edge off, as tempted as you may be to do it. I promise you it's gonna look weird if you trim it off, so do not trim off the excess. Okay. So again, just lining up that paper towards the bottom, that bottom edge with where we have it folded over, and then we're lining up this edge with the score line here. And like I said, you'll probably have a little bit of that excess off of there, but don't worry about it. It'll all come together. Do not trim that off as much as you probably want to. All right, so now we're gonna take some tear and tape here, and on this little section that doesn't have the Glimmer white, we're gonna add our tear and tape onto this tab on both pieces. Oops. There we go. Right there. So I'm going to show you first on one piece, and then we'll do it on the other. So now you can fold these little tabs back to the bottom and put that Glimmer paper face down, okay? So you're going to fold the tab with the tear and tape in, remove the backing. Okay, I have a little bit that's coming over, so I'm going to push that back up. Okay, so now this middle score line here, you're just going to fold it over, and it will line right up with that edge, okay? And now you're gonna see what I'm talking about, this little bit of excess here. When you pop that card, it actually comes together and kind of helps close that seam a little bit. So that's why you don't want to close it, okay? So now where this seam is, I'm gonna take the side tabs and fold those over. Actually, this one looks a little better, yeah. And then I'm gonna fold this down, and before I put that last tab down, I'm gonna put some liquid glue on here. Okay, just fold that down, and then we'll flip it over and take our bone folder and kind of rub that glue around, reinforce it, and get that in place. So there's one pant leg done. So now let's do the other one. So again, this little tab here that doesn't have the white glimmer paper, that's where we're putting our tear and tape. Right here. And we're gonna put 2 strips. I just put them along the edges of this little section here. All right, and then I always take my bone folder and kind of rub that tear and tape just to make sure it's really nice and adhered onto our paper. So now we're gonna, we're gonna flip this over so that glimmer paper is on the bottom. Fold in that section that has the tear and tape and remove the backing. Oops. And then, like I said, this middle score line here, that's where we're gonna basically fold it in half onto that section with the tear and tape, and it'll line right up. And now, when we put those seams together, when we open that box, those seams will kind of close together. And if they're a little off, it's okay, because the seams are gonna kind of be on the inside, so don't worry about that too much either. So now I'm gonna take my little tabs here and fold those over, and before we put the last one down, we just wanna put a little bit of glue and put that tab over. And if they don't look perfect on the bottom, don't worry about it. It's the bottom. Nobody's gonna see it, and they're not gonna pay attention to it. Okay. So now we're gonna take these 2 trouser pants, and we see we have the little seams on the back here. We're gonna put those seams towards the back just like this. And then I'm gonna take 2 pieces of tear and tape on this leg, and I'm gonna put tear and tape on the inside of the pant legs. Just like that, and one more. Oops. Another piece right there. Okay, so got that tear and tape down. We'll use our finger, kind of press it down. And now we're gonna take our backing off again. There we go. And we're just gonna take these legs and just press them right together, okay? So we're just gonna press them together, and then I'll take my fingers and kind of rub on the inside and pinch those together from the inside. And there we have our little pant legs, and you can put your little chocolates in there. I go ahead and put them in here now. It's not gonna hurt anything. So I take 3 of the green, the peppermint cookie, and I put them in one leg, and I take 3 of the white chocolate ones and put them in the other leg. Oh, actually, we should wait till the end because we still got to put the Santa trouser straps in there. Just kidding. Okay, so let's do the belt. So I have a strip here of basic black. And so what we want to do first is we want to kind of shape the belt. So we're going to start in the seam here and just kind of fold that paper along where the corners are, just to kind of give it that shape that we need before we actually adhere it. It just makes it easier to adhere it. Okay, and then we're gonna come out, and the front is gonna be a little bit bigger, and it's gonna go over that seam, but that's okay. So now we kind of have it folded a little bit. So now we're gonna take more tear and tape, lots of tear and tape in this project, but tear and tape is always good for 3D projects because it has a nice strong hold, so you don't have to worry about it coming apart. And I notice especially in areas that are humid, like I live in Florida, so a lot of times those areas adhesive tends to come apart. So when you have something strong like this, you're less likely to have that problem. Okay, rubbing that tear and tape, and now we'll take our backing off. And just make sure that you start with the right edge that you folded. So you notice like one edge was overlapping. So one of these edges is a little bit longer. You can kind of tell. So this is the shorter edge. That's the edge that we started with. So we're going to start with that at the seam here. We're just going to line that up along that top edge. And you just want to kind of go, whoops, you don't want to press too hard until you know that it's lined up where you want it to line up, okay? So just lining that paper up with that top edge, fold it around, kind of get it in place before you push it down onto the pants, okay? There we go. And then once you have it exactly, you know, lined up how you want to, then you can kind of pinch it and make sure that it's adhered on there really good. And like I said, at the end here, it overlaps a little bit, but that's okay because that's where we're going to put the belt buckle. So we're not worried about that. Okay. So now we have a little piece of basic black, and I cut out a little square gold foil piece. And I'm actually going to take some Stampin' Seal for this one and adhere it. I do not recommend using liquid glue because if you put too much liquid glue and it kind of comes out from below the basic black onto the gold, it'll smudge on that foil and it just makes a huge mess. So I always avoid using liquid glue on foil because it does not look pretty. Okay, and now for the buckle, we're just going to center it over this black strip. You're going to have a little bit above and below it. That's okay. You want to center it over that center and make sure that the legs are centered in between there too. And that's how we have the pants. Okay, so for the straps, like I said, I have Real Red straps that I already pre-cut, okay? And let's see, how long were these? These were 8 inches long. So, all right, now we're going to take our bone folder and just kind of curl these straps, kind of like you do with ribbon when you're making ribbon curls and scissors. So, and then I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue here, and I'm just going to put maybe like a pea-size amount on the front. Glue's about gone, just about that much. And for the front, we're just going to put it right in the center and have it straight up and down in the front, okay? You just want to center it straight in the front section, okay? And then just kind of use your finger to reinforce it. Now this one, this back section here, we're going to put about that same amount of glue towards the bottom. And now when we put it in here, it's actually going to be at an angle. It's not going to be straight, okay? And we're just going to hold it in there for a minute. And so it kind of goes straight up and then angles down. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So pinch it up here. And then on the back, get a little bit of glue there. And I like to put this one on the inside, so underneath the other strap. And again, it's just going to go in at an angle, and you're going to pinch and kind of hold it in there. And that liquid glue gives you a minute to move everything around. So they kind of cross in the back like straps would. Now we can put our chocolate in. So like I said, I have 3 of the peppermint ones on one side, the white chocolate peppermint. Just kind of mess with those a little bit. And then 3 of the chocolate cookie peppermint. There we go. Now for the little words on the top, so I actually used the Santa's delivery stamp set, okay? So we're using this little Santa Claus is coming to town, and this stamp set I believe is retiring as well. And then you'll notice I actually used this piece, and you'll notice that's a lot smaller, right? So I used this piece from the Pretty Pillow Box dies, and what I did was I stamped on a piece of paper, and then you line up your die so that it's kind of along the edge on the right hand side, and you'll have a bunch of excess here. So when you cut it, it'll look kind of like this. And if it's cut off, that's not a problem because we're going to shorten it. So now once it's cut, you move that other edge down and line it up. And because this has the stitching, it makes it even easier because you will feel when that stitching kind of pops into place, and it'll just hold it in place when you die cut the other edge. And then when you're done, you get this smaller die that's the perfect size, and that's what we're going to use, okay? So we are going to just take a dimensional actually, and I'm going to stick the dimensional right to his strap, and then I'm going to take the backing off, and I'm going to put that little Santa Claus is coming to town, and that's it. Our little treat holders, our little Santa Pants treat holders are done. Aren't those just so cute? I love them so much. All right, guys. Well, I really hope you enjoyed today's project. Please, I gotta share this every time. I think it's so cute. It's like Santa saying, hey. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Give me a thumbs up or a little heart if you like this video, and leave a comment in the section below. Don't forget about Last Chance products starting on December 1st. I have a link, or actually I have a whole blog post at stampcampwithjen.com. You can just search Last Chance products, and you will see the complete list as well as the discounts for which products have a discount, which products are retiring. There are a few that are carrying over, but not very many. So go ahead and check out that list and get your wish list ready for December 1st, okay? All right, guys. Well, until next time, be safe and happy stamping. Bye-bye.